Welcome to Daddies the Podcast. I'm Greg.
And I'm Eric.
And on this episode of Daddies Delaware Highlights, we have Andrew of Amaysing Firewood. Andrew, welcome.
Welcome. Thank you, guys.
Yeah, thank you for joining us, man. We appreciate you coming on, taking the time to chat a little bit about who you are and your business.
Right before we jumped on here, I was commenting, I was talking to you about how unique you seem to have a lot more followers than any other firewood. What's your profession called?
Firewood industry, farming, and agriculture, and fishing and wildlife is what we're under.
Yeah. I've just never seen anybody doing what you're doing on social media.
I get that all the time. I get that all the time because they're like, "It's firewood." Like, yeah, it's dope though. It's the perfect business card, you know.
So, can you tell us a little bit about your background, and let's kind of like backpedal a little bit. Just tell us a little bit about your background, and then we can kind of talk about like how you got started and interested in the world of firewood.
Right. So we got a cool background, you know, coming from farming. My father did farming and stuff like that, and I was just an interested kid, you know, coming up in the world, and I always played with the fire and stuff like that. So I always wanted to see how it worked, and you know, you see all the cartoons back in the '80s, you know, Captain Planet was one, wind, water, fire, you know, heart, and we we're all like heart. So doing that, then having an interest for self-service and servicing people, helping them, you know. I always just wanted to be able to give my services and do business, you know. Everyone wants to be, well, I don't know if everyone, but I wanted to be a businessman growing up.
Good. What better way than firewood? Right. Andrew, you mentioned the business card. Please tell me your business card is like a little piece of wood.
Oh no, we're not that cool. But that'd be biting off of somebody. I'm pretty original. This guy in New York, I'm not gonna say his name because we're not plugging here for other people. We're on this team. Yes. He is actually have a piece because he has a machine called a CNC machine, and he does have that. But I have something awesome. The logo is pretty awesome. It's pretty significant to me, and you know, let alone the name of the company.
Well, so tell us about that. What's the logo and the significance?
So if you take a look at the logo, it's going to be a grill top, a piece of wood as well, or a piece of wood up top. It's an oak wood, you know, one of the most iconic is what I call it, woods. You know, you got different variations, but on the bottom is grilling, and then on either side you see your marshmallow and sticks with your steak, because we cater to the industry of cooking, camping, as well as your leisure time, barbecue competitions and stuff like that. So we that's kind of like significant, and it's my name as well. So Amaysing Wood, it's Andrew Mays doing firewood. So.
And so you're based out of Delaware.
Yep.
So are you like, do you hit all three counties, or are you like just like Newcastle, Kent, Sussex?
All right, you ready for it?
I'm ready.
I'm originally from Jersey. I deployed back in 17, 18. I love doing business. I was in the Army, so when you guys say, hey, we're doing X, Y, and Z, and we're working it out, it's cool. I understand. My wife is from Bucks County. I probably should have did that part out. But I got to be cool and stuff. When we went to New Jersey, a friend of mine, he does poultry and different other kind of specialty meat. So he was always in the way of other people that needed firewood. And as business went on and progression went on, I got bigger and bigger and bigger. And before you know it, I'm on the front page of Philly Inquiry, Delaware Now, X, Y, and Z. So we moved around and finding out which things worked and didn't work for me. Now we're here in Southern Delaware. So I normally cater to restaurants and then the residential, you know, especially Philly, but we're trying to move it along so that we can go ahead and make sure that everybody is taken care of for the winter.
So you're located, so you said you're Sussex now.
Yep.
Okay.
Kent County, actually.
Kent County?
We're down in Kent County, right here next to Dover. Just like the business is low-key, I'm low-key in the woods.
All right.
You guys mentioned potato or whatever, internet. I'm telling you, you can't appreciate it. When we got here, we had no service, no internet, no anything, but thank God he like literally giving me a whole, if I showed you guys, like, to cut wood. And it went up right up to the house.
So is the wood essentially coming, like, are you cutting down your own wood that you're selling? Is that
Yep.
like, I know nothing of the wood industry.
Mhm.
So,
That's all right. So uh, I'm gonna be honest with you, I was literally splitting on demand when I first started. I would go to people's houses, I would go and pick up wood that was sitting, but not rotten wood. And I actually worked, so I was around Newtown Square area and another area that was kind of like uppity, right? They had a very high demand, and that's where I had started. I would pick it up, already cut the limb, people that need to get rid of it, or people that just wanted it out their yard, and then it just grew up from there. So then I got a processor and I started to cut my own wood, dealing with that, and everyone else was being supplied the whole time. So I'm splitting on demand and getting these orders out. I mean a lot of wood at a time, and it's grew on me, right? Because I love to see wood, the uniqueness, but the way that I took it is so different. The dynamic is way different.
On demand wood. That sounds like
I've seen that movie. I've seen.
that's gonna be the OnlyFans spoof of the
Yeah.
spinoff.
Right.
So have you noted, like, I
Sorry,
so
I can't help myself.
Yeah, I know,
That's
yeah.
all right.
Your page, I see it a lot on a lot of the like a lot of the other content creators in Delaware. So have you noticed, like, that I've seen, like, it seems like you've been really accepted into the, like, you know how social media is, and you
Right,
either
right.
get accepted or rejected.
The cool
Um,
kids, right?
yeah, well, I mean, you have a ton of followers. Like, there are people that love what you're doing. And I think it's just because it's such a unique thing, like that.
Hmm.
You're the only person I know besides like Lowe's, where you can get and you can choose what kind of product you want.
Right, right.
So having, such a hands-on business, I'm sure you still have to stay very engaged, and you're on social media all the time. So how do the two kind of go hand in hand for you?
So it's very important. I learned very early on that making sure you have a schedule, right? You want to make sure that, we can start as early as 5 to 6. I've gained the respect and the comfort of people in different areas, the higher end people that just go there, do my business and leave. I'm not looking to look at anything, or I'm not looking to take anything. But with that being said, you have to have a cutoff time, and I was getting really cool, and I was having really cool fun by going to all these breweries and going to see cool stuff and the stores before they open. But I really had to hunker down and actually have a timeline and schedule, right? We can't work the weekends because I got kid and I got daddy's situations going on, and daddy endeavors to take on, right? And then as well as my wife. My wife needs certain things, and my kids as well. So I'm gonna stick to that schedule. And then another thing is maximizing your time, and meeting the right people. That's why you can see on the Instagram, you know, um, it's not about knowing everyone, but know who the right person to go to is when you need help.
Yeah, we were having this conversation last week, just about, like, social media as a whole, and just, how it can really just be a time suck. And it
Hmm.
really, like, you can look down at your phone and then you're like, oh wow, it's been like 2 3 hours. And I think having that healthy balance of, like,
Hmm.
personal life and family life, and I feel like for Eric and I, it took us a little while until we were able to kind of figure that out, because you want to go all in,
Hmm.
but then it's like, all right, I
Then it runs
also,
your life.
then it
Yeah.
runs your life, and that's just not healthy.
Got to set the downtime on the apps. So I don't want to see
Mhm.
Instagram
Yep.
Yeah.
notifications for this time here. Boom, boom, boom. Just knock it out of
Yep.
the focus time. I think I have it on.
Well, because too, I mean, like, it's going to be there in the morning, or it's going to be there whenever you're done taking your break, or whatever. Eric and I were
Hmm.
having this conversation. Like, I'll find myself, and I don't know if this is the same for you. Like, if I wake up at like 3 a.m., I'll find myself scrolling through my phone for like an hour or
Woo!
two. And I'm like, I gotta stop doing that, because then you do feel like a potato when you wake up the next morning. You actually have to be productive and do your job. So, yep.
Can I ask? I have a confession to make. I really only buy. I have a solo stove. Is pretty much that's all the only thing we burn. It's just a little communal one, roast marshmallows. But I buy all my firewood from Acme, and there's little mesh bags.
Acme.
Yeah. I've never bought more than just like 2 of those little mesh bags at a time. That's all I ever have. So, is that okay? Is that like shame on me, or what's the scoop?
I'm gonna go with this, all right? Because it's a different era, right? So I gotta piggyback off what you guys were already talking about. So social media is kind of the reason why we're even going down this what we all like to call it a rabbit hole, right? And once you go down the rabbit hole, it's just like 3 hours, 5 hours, 6 hours if you let a whole day pass, right? And that's where firewood and business and everything else comes with discipline, right? And just like what you're talking about right now, hey, when you're burning those 2 or 3 bags, you have to really be disciplined. You're cognitive of how much you're spending, what you're doing with it. You don't know what kind of wood it is, so if you're just throwing it in, that's cool. I'm not saying that's right or wrong. It's your personal opinion, just like what pages you scroll on Instagram. I got another. I like where you went with the Catholic. You said you got a confession. Yeah, I'm not gonna hold you. I like to think that people that are buying wood at these supermarkets, it's more convenient and it's a nice side. Plus, you're just trying to burn some wood, and that's all cool for me. That's where I come in, and my niche has been like super cool because if you're doing that and then you're having a weekend barbecue or something, then you might want a little bit more than 2 bags, and it's changed dramatically, right? Because the instant gratification of social media and people wanting things now and here now, Uber Eats, you name it, all the Uber, all of this stuff, everything.
DoorDash,
and that's kind of like where I am competing, right? We got pretty cool stuff coming up, and we hope to make it easier. But that's basically what I'm doing the manual way. So that's what makes it like easier, but not as easy, So if you're buying them at Acme, don't tell them yourself, It's all right, though. It's all right.
You know what? I do the same thing, like Acme, Giant. I'm in Middletown, so Giant's closest to my house, and we'll just be sitting out, and we're like, hey, let's get the solo stove out, but we don't have any wood. Let's hit up DoorDash, and they'll bring you 2 bags.
Wood?
I DoorDash wood all the time, all the time.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, and because I didn't realize that there were other ways to get it. Like, I knew you could go on the Solo Stove's website and buy their extremely overpriced wood, or you go to the grocery store and buy it in the little mesh bag.
Well, there's that. Or I also see on the side of the road, there's a little sign that says firewood.
Sure.
And you're in your car, right? So
and I'm not really looking to toss a ton of that in my car.
Right.
I never have I've never hit the phone number up that's spray painted on the log. That to me doesn't draw me in. But I think what's cool about what you're doing is you're talking about the different things that you're selling and what they're good for and the uses, the purpose. And that is 1,000 times more captivating than Jim Bob's Wood Shack, when you're driving down the county roads or whatever.
You'll turn into Hills Got Eyes or something.
Yeah, right.
So, and that's the cool thing, as well, that, I'm kind of user-friendly. I know that you or whoever is out in the world that needs wood, if you come click on our Instagram, you can see what we're doing, you can see what's going on, and it's only uphill from here, right? I love that movie. The not grown ups. The other one with Zach. Anyway, I'm not gonna waste time. It's the movie with where they go for the wedding thing to Vegas.
Hangover.
Hangover, right?
Okay. Zach Galifianakis. Yes.
Yeah, he's awesome. But anyway, it's like that. It's exactly like that. Like, hey man, you can click on here. You're getting a real life thing. I'm not putting no chemicals. I don't have no high strung kilns or nothing, trying to hurry up and do it. I'm naturally doing it just like your grandfather would to get ready for the winter. Plus, I'm going to cater to your bags. And you know what's better? We did supply, and we still do. We're just revamping things because we're here on this big acreage. We're revamping things. We're getting over to more grocery stores. We're actually right here in Hartley, which is, we deliver to Firebase Lloyd. I hate to plug them too. You might want to edit that out. That would be helpful. but we also come to people's houses and stuff, and we're still doing. So we also deliver to festivals and stuff like that. We actually go out to people's houses, and we take care of it. We're kind of a hands off. We are hands off, right? When you come, you're drinking your beer. Ain't nobody trying to get rid of no firewood or stack it up or figure out if you send me a picture or whatever it is. I can say, hey, you want to go with my recommendation for everybody, so you don't feel like you're getting beat or X, Y, and Z. Go with a quarter or cord, because that's going to gauge it, right? You're going to burn as much wood as you can. You're going to have as much fun as you can. Plus, you're going to have a variety of wood, and it's mixed hardwood. So mixed hardwood meaning oak, cherry, hickory, all of that. So you're going to get the smell of different flavors. You're going to come in. I got some customers that says, man, I came in and smelled like trash. I was like, oh, because it is trash. But no, no, but
You are what you burn.
right. Backwards, I am. No, I'm joking. But it's just different because everybody gets it. You get the most variety, but you're not overwhelmed. Whereas people don't really know how much wood they're getting. Even if I gave you the information on what dimensions it is, right? If I said 2 pallets and 4 foot high, you probably still don't. But if I made a diagram and showed you, went to my Instagram and you've seen it a couple times, you'd have a better understanding. But at the same time, I just understand, like, there's people that don't know. So I just like to cater to them. And I'm really a selfless service person. So that's where that comes from.
I'll tell you what, my hurdle is, I have my neighbor has one of those little racks. I think he built it himself out of 2x4s.
Yeah.
And that's where he puts all the wood on. You're not supposed to put that stuff on the ground, right? Yeah, just like one of those. Just like one of those. Yeah,
Yeah.
and then he stacks them up and then he wraps a tarp over top of it. I don't have one of those. I would just I got like a little pile on my deck right now.
Hey, and that's completely cool. But it's like playing any sport, right? The more that you're doing it, the more equipment you gain, right? We have them on site, on my site as well. But I'm not here to plug the site. I'm like literally like here, like, hey Eric, I got one of those things here. Just throw me whatever the price is for it, And that's where it's starting to be conflicting, right? And that's where it's becoming conflicted because of the amount that it costs to do this and time and hard, the labor that it takes, and it's labor intensive. But we're expanding now. We're trying to cover all the fields and making sure that everyone's doing a little bit every day, and that's how we can come together. To answer your question, though, it's better not to store it on the ground because of the moisture. It's just like anything else. It's all going to come to the bottom. And if you pull those ones from the bottom, they're going to be more wet, more content. Moisture content is what we call it here in the industry. But it's all good. If it burns nice and hot, I like to do what I call a refresher. If I'm coming and I'm servicing you all the time, I'll just rotate it on automatically because the kind heart, and plus I know, hey man, these probably haven't been rotated. Let's rotate it, so.
Yeah. One-stop shop.
Yep.
Andrew, what would you say is your biggest, I don't want to say wood challenge, but what is your biggest challenge?
It's just hard all the time.
Yeah, right.
What a problem to have.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
So what is like the biggest challenge? I know you talked a little bit about like the DoorDash and like the Uber Eats guys, but like what have you noticed?
All right, so I'm gonna go with I'm gonna say, man, I've been just gifted with the innovation of always bringing up new things. But employees and people nowadays, you see, the jobs aren't the same. These big industries have automated almost everything. Even the bigger industries that's been around for a while is turning to automation. So to do physical manual labor, everyone wants to go pay that gym fee, but they don't want to come work and get 2 in 1. Call it killing 2 birds with 1 stone. Another thing is knowing the next step, because it's just like I'm in Japan and everyone else is in the U.S., right? You got to be a couple steps ahead of your industry. Another thing is the recognition it takes. People don't, just like you just said, hey man, I didn't know where to get wood. But if you went to the Instagram or Amaysing Wood, and we got pretty cool upcoming things, I believe you'll hear a lot more of it, the company, myself. And we're trying to step back and actually let the machines and different stuff take control so that we're not all the time right there. Another big thing is the craft. People can't respect the craft, gas can go up, Food can go up, but firewood has to stay the same, I guess, And it almost feels like no respect, but you can't take it personal. I'd be lying if I said, hey, man, I don't get it, because I don't. But at the same time, it's just like they can't respect the craft that I'm coming here. I'm stacking up very quickly, getting on to the next delivery. I'm making sure that you have the proper wood. I'm one of the almost very few. It's by species. So when you come or you need a barbecue competition wood, I got apple wood, I got peach wood, I got hickory wood, I got cherry wood, I got oak and white oak wood. So, or I could just give it to your typical home buyer and say, hey man, here's mixed wood. You got a little bit of all of that in there. But if you really take them out and smell each one, they're very unique. They're very different. And then again, just the respect of the art and the hard work. You can't respect it because you're not seeing it. Too many times you go on the internet or in the store, you see it again, that instant gratification, but you don't know that tree's got to go down. It takes a little while to clean it up. It takes a year at least to get it, what do we call seasoned, but enough moisture out of it to get you down, because it has to be below I think it's 12 or 20%. It's always lower than that. So I have a prodder and stuff, but it just has to be low enough to burn and you're not getting fizzle out of it or any moisture out of it. So it takes time, and it's really a craft to know how to drop trees and how to clean up cleanups and stuff like that. So all three of those, not enough recognition, not respecting the craft and the art side of it, and then all in all, the hard work that goes into it, from the time you order to getting on that truck to bringing it into your satisfaction. I like to stay with the series, SEAR series, the company from back in the day. I just like to be a customer service person, whatever it is. We've serviced different breweries. We've serviced pizza shops, bagel shops, houses, whatever it is. Just let me know so we can work together to create a community like we had back in the day, where you say, hey man, I felt like this. I'll stack it up right there. I'll show you the benches right there, whatever it is. But don't another thing is that people don't want to do that. And when you get with these restaurants, you're supplying them, I'm telling you, like a lot of wood at a time. And for you to come in one day, or for you to show up with all this wood and they say, well, we got someone else and their wood stacked there. I've done that so many times. One of my competitors, I've walked over his product a couple of times. I had other competitors in other locations, and you look in and like, wow, my wood's moving fast, really fast. And I said, man, you can, I mark the bags, or I look at them and, push your hand in the plastic and like, yo, that's the same bag. And I'm sorry, I'm a real person. I'm a genuine person. And that's where I'm speaking for the industry. Look, we get egos and say, hey, my wood's better than that wood, and that wood's better than this wood, and that wood's longer than this wood, and this wood is harder than this wood. What I'm saying?
Been there.
But there it is. And that's the best part about this industry for me is when I went to college, right? I did acting. I'm getting a little bit off topic, but I'm gonna bring it back.
That's all right.
And the name, it's all personal to me, and we're growing so quickly, which I'm cool with all of it. Literally, it's a wildfire, right? And moving demographics isn't easy, right? So I had a yard in New Jersey because that's where I'm from. I get my start. My pops hooks me up. Hey, man, you can have this place. Of course, it's not the greatest place, but it's mine. So, I run from Philly to down there to back up there. Made in America didn't make it easy. We got 4 chords sometimes, different people helping. And then we had a yard at my Newark, Delaware yard. And then now I'm down here in Hartley, about 25, 30 minutes from Dover. And we like to get business here, but where we're going, I'd say like Buzz Lightyear, to infinity and beyond.
So Andrew, if someone was trying to get into wood, like what would
Don't
you
do it. No.
yeah, what would you tell them?
I gotta stay. I'm trying to hold back on all the wood jokes.
I know it's so difficult. It is
That's the best
so
part of it.
difficult.
I knew that was going to be difficult coming into this. So if I look like I'm pondering something, I'm sorry. I apologize.
Yeah. Well, because the questions are sincere, but they're also
Let it fly, bro. And that's me right there. That's you and me. Like, let it fly. I'm so glad and happy that I got to do this, because it's like warm. I used to smoke. I don't smoke, drink, or anything. And you drink your cognac, and that's one of those things. Like, what do you think about this wood? Like, it's pretty big.
Well, right, yeah. And so,
It's
like,
too
the
big
question.
for what I've got going on.
So, what would you tell somebody who is trying to dabble in wood?
I would just say do your research. Everybody. I could give you the generic say do your research and you need to have a plan. Look, I'm gonna be 110% with you. All right. Now you got me going, Eric. Ethan, like, I would say, do it, but yeah, you do want to do your research, but enjoy it, and that's the fun on my whole name and stuff like that. Like, it's fun, man. And when I'm out there, I forget why I even slow down and stop. And then my customers, I can't have any better. I couldn't have any better. When it's cold out and it's snowing, middle of the winter. Oh man, and they're giving you hot toddies. You know what I'm saying? And they give you something to stay warm. They throwing you an extra so and so on top. They giving you food. Like, I don't want to take it. It's like my buddy, right? He's Italian, so you couldn't say no. He said, "Take the food. My mom's gonna offer you. Take the food, all right?"
It's rude if you don't.
And that's how it is. Yeah. Right. So, and that's kind of the mentality I'm moving around with, right? So I'm enjoying it. I keep God first. And that's the coolest thing is like when you're doing it, make sure I did my best years when I wasn't paying attention what everyone else was doing, and they were catching me, and I wasn't running against anyone, and I'm blowing them out the water. So, and that's the funny thing is like, yo, my wood's bigger than yours. You dig what I'm saying? So I got to keep it 100. If you're going to do it, just do it sincerely, work hard. And when people with other industries and other businesses say they work hard, they really work hard. I have to tell my daughter, I really work hard. But, I'm trying to make sure everyone's good. And I love that it's called Daddies the podcast, because I'm a dad and we're not looking at just one aspect like, oh, my daughter's good at this and that's all we're good at. Like, I'm literally looking at the whole picture and saying, hey, how can I make the residents good? How can I make sure that the industry is good? How can I make sure that I'm representing the industry the best? How can I make sure the restaurant owners that don't have consistency the best? And that's one of the big things. Be consistent. There's days that, everyone else it's like being a kid. Everyone else is back out there playing and stuff. And, they're getting popsicles and they're going to Florida, right? And I'm over there literally, I got you, ready? Holding my wood. You feel me?
Yeah, you said something. You got to put it on a shirt for one of your work shirts. My wood is bigger than yours. You got to put that on a shirt, man.
I got you. I appreciate
it. Well, I think that like this conversation helps, and I hope it goes a long way. You said like one of the struggles is having people respect the craft. I think it's just a genuine, not ignorance in a bad way. It's just people just don't know. Like, never think about. I can say at least that I don't ever think about this kind of stuff. So for me to hear about it sounds really cool. And I hope that people hearing this makes them want to get into it.
And that's kind of what I really like about like doing this segment and really getting to speak with individuals such as yourself who do you have such a fascinating craft. And I'm to touch on Eric's point, just ignorance, I think, just didn't know, So we appreciate you kind of taking the time to school us a little bit about your wood. And
you're going to think about this for years to come.
Oh, yeah.
We had this one guy. All the dads are going to be on here after. And they're coming. They're like, yo, and where's that guy with the wood? Like,
where's the wood guy?
Me to ask him about the special wood.
But we will. So, Andrew, we'll put your link in the description of the video. And once again, everyone, Andrew with Amaysing Firewood. Thank you so much for joining us. I'm Greg.
And I'm Eric.
And we are the Daddies.